YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, to just the gunkiest video you will ever see in your entire life. He's gunking, he's just going around gunking. We are out here gunking with the best. I'm slumming to the highest degree right now. I'm wearing the exact same outfit, and by outfit I mean hoodie and cap that I wore in my Skyrim husband video like 3 days ago. I know, dude, I'm aware. Do I care? To be honest, not really. I've just come off the back of just one of those nights where it wasn't a great sleep night, and by wasn't a great I mean there was none of it. So I'm a little tired, but I'm not quite tired enough to nap. So I thought I'll have a nice afternoon nap. I'll get some lunch in a bit, and then I'll have a little afternoon, a nice 3 p.m. nap. That sounds healthy, right? Those sound healthy. Look, honestly, I don't know what's going on right now in life, in my head, in my own brain. I just don't really know anything. What's the greatest thing in life is realizing that you know nothing. Something like that. Socrates probably said that. Something similar anyway. I wonder what my stoic quote of the day is. I wanted to do a little video today to pass the time, get a little bit of content. We make content on this channel. Content created. I also did a couple little tiny shots like an hour ago. By an hour ago, like it was 15 minutes ago. Just because I thought that'd be fun. That'd be fun, right? My brain's in a good state to handle those. I'm handling things well right now. I have everything under control. What did I pick my phone up for? What's my stoic quote of the day? Let me share you guys with the quote, and then we'll start the YouTube video. Yesterday's video was the quizzes, and it took me 7 minutes of the video to start the first quiz. Aurelius, Stoic Daddy. We ought to do good to others as simply as a horse runs, or a bee makes honey, or vine bears grapes season after season without thinking of the grapes it has borne. Just do good just be nice to people is what he was saying there, kind of. So today, I once again, we're continuing the series, we're continuing the trend. Has my camera always been this smooth? Why do I feel like I've got more frames? Nope, there they go. Oh man. I am stealing content once again from Northern Lion, a YouTuber who I watch, and a Twitch streamer who I watch. I've stolen this directly from his stream. This would be great stream content if I had a PC capable of streaming. Unfortunately, I have not. It doesn't do that. It doesn't like it. I hit the stream button and then it lasts for like 10 minutes and then it just does this horrible, awful, like just sound that just is ear ruining. I think Josh maybe is the only person who's experienced it, because there was a VOD on the channel for a little bit that said that, and I vaguely remember the title being, hey, don't watch this, it's horrible, and then Josh telling me that he watched it and saying it was horrible. I don't know what it does. It's the sound card. It can't be the sound card. It doesn't have one in there. There's no sound card. Something trashes and it's horrible. So I can't stream. So this is why we do these videos in video format. You stick them on in the background and you just let him rip. It's good background content. Maybe it's good falling asleep content. Do I have a good fall? You know what? I have weird energy a lot of the time. Chaotic energy. My personality can be quite a lot. I was saying this to Spink last night. My personality could be quite a lot. I think if I really tried, I could do good sleeping stuff. Hey, let me read to you a little bit. Should we read to you? Sorry, I'm just passing the time. Maybe I'm wasting everyone else's time here. What shall I read? Where are we up to? Yeah, this is my audition for Audible. This is my audition for that sleeping app I always get the adverts on that has Harry Styles on it. My sister got, and on the phone the other day, my sister started playing Harry Styles down the phone. Do you know Reese likes Harry Styles? That's true, I do. Shout out Harry Styles. Chronic remorse, as all the moralists are agreed, is a most undesirable sentiment. If you have behaved badly, repent. Make what amends you can, and address yourself to the task of behaving better next time. On no account brood over your wrongdoing. Rolling in the muck is not the best way of getting clean. Now that was a rough one. I'd probably do another take. It's my favourite quote in the whole book, and it's not even from the book, it's from the fucking foreword. What are we doing? So today, on Northern Lion's stream the other day, I think I could do a good. I think I could put people to sleep if I really tried. On Northern Lion's stream the other day, I need to fix the framing of this webcam. He did a segment called looking at my top 10 Steam games of all time and also leaving reviews. I'm not going to do the review bit because my brain, and also it's going to sound ironic. I'm like embarrassed. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to put reviews out there that people might see. That's like I'm shy. I'm too shy for that. I'm not doing the review part. I don't have a very. I'm not very good words with words most of the time. Definitely not right now. I think I like the way I use words, but not in a way that necessarily is good for someone else who's trying to glean information. I would be terrible at giving a review for something. You read a review, you're trying to get information about the product, and half the time that I'm saying words, it's not stuff that people know how to pass what I'm saying, the words that I'm saying. So especially right now, it's probably not a good time. That said, I'm going to go on Steam. I haven't looked. I know what my #1 game is, and I could probably guess at least 3, 4, maybe 5. Maybe less even. Like, I don't even... there's like a couple games that are coming to mind. You could probably imagine Isaac will be in there somewhere. I'm guessing Spelunky will be in there somewhere. And I know what #1 is. But outside of that, I genuinely don't really know what the rest of my top 10 are. So I think it'll be interesting to look back at my top 10. And I thought this would be a fun little group exercise. Let me know what your guys' top 10 most played games are. That said, let's create some freaking content, baby. Hello, welcome to my Steam profile. At first, I just wanted to show this off because look at my sick neon rim. Have you ever seen a rim like this one? It's absolutely gorgeous. It looks sick. It looks dope. But then I realized that maybe there's a little bit more to look at here. So this could be fun. So this is my profile. Don't send me requests, please. Would be my what I ask of you. So this is semi-spoilers. This was always going to be the #1 game. Dishonored, and we'll talk about Dishonored a little bit, you know, when I actually get to the meat of the video. I have 1,087 plus the fact that I played it through casually on Xbox before I even got my PC, so probably at least 100 plus on Xbox. Limited achievements because we unpatch it for the speedrun, and the unpatcher disables achievements. So these are all just achievements I got very early on, and then we'll get to that. But a few achievements because we down patch it for the speedrun and it turns the achievements off. Is why the achievements are so low. Although one day maybe I'll go back and do that. I'm a level 18 gamer. I am a game mechanic. Don't know what that means. I'm a game dev. I speak Lua and HTML, which is a coding language that I know, and also Scratch. Apparently I unlocked this on the 16th of November at 12:33 AM. That wasn't even that long ago, and I still don't know what that is. This is my YouTube link where I make YouTube videos all the time on there, on Yeti Hype. Always making videos on youtube.com/Yeti Hype. Sometimes. And then there's the wave emoji, because that was my like little motif for a while. That was my thing for like 2 years, and I guess apparently on Steam it still is. I have been offline for 55 days. I've played 2.7 hours in the past 2 weeks, so probably Isaac is probably all Isaac. Obviously I did a video this week, I did a video the week before, and that's probably pretty much it. I really don't log into Steam very often, and I talked about this. This will be an Isaac bit at some point, because I talked about it in an Isaac episode that I didn't end up uploading, so I'm sure I'll come back and say this again at some point. But I haven't logged into Steam very much recently because I basically only play I played so much co-op recently, so many co-op games. Pretty much everything I've played for the past like 2 months has been co-op. I pretty much only play co-op games now. So it's taken that edge off the solo games. Just don't hit the same. So I've not really found the motivation to get back into solo games for a little bit. So that's what I'm maybe trying to do. I'm maybe going to pick something up. Maybe I'll go back to Skyrim soon, or back to Fallout or something like that. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I don't log into Steam much nowadays, just because it's mostly games I would play solo on here. For example, Isaac, and this has just been for videos. So I really don't log on much anymore. But just because it's mostly been stuff with the Bebs, and stuff without the Bebs just no longer hit the same. Among Us 93 hours, 31 hours of Apex, which is mad considering I only played it for about a week. And apparently those are my last 3 played games, which is insane considering I last played Apex in November, and then Among Us 2 weeks ago. It feels like even longer ago. Remember when we used to play Among Us like 3 times a week? Yeah, we used to be addicted. The new map should be good though. I can't wait for the new map to come out. I have 477 freaking games, apparently. Some screenshots, a video even. Let's have a little browse around, why not? You know what, people aren't gonna... If you have me on Steam, you can root around. But I don't like adding people on here anymore. I only add like friends on here now, so maybe you'll never get a chance to look through. What have we got going on here? No gold run, almost ruined. Oh, frick, dude. It really was almost ruined, he's right. I don't think I've got that achievement though. I finally did it. This is the first time I ever beat the video game. This is the first time I ever beat Olmec. And then recently I went back on, like last year at some point, I remember talking about it in Josh's Discord, I went on, I hadn't played for like 2 years, and then I beat Olmec again for like the second time ever. Here's me, the first ever, the #1 on the leaderboards. Here's the turret nest. What is this portal? Am I right? No. Okay. ... See, I've always been funny. I've always been hilarious. A little joke there, a little portal reference. The game has loved the portal reference. Is it a bush? Is it a cactus? No one knows. Good joke. I've always been funny. I actually remember this because I was playing... Which Tropico is this? 3? I was playing this while I was on a Skype call, because it was about 2013, with an IRL friend of mine who also plays Tropico, and I was telling him about how there was a piece of plant and I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know how to really send a picture of him, so I took a screenshot and uploaded it to Steam so that he could look in Steam to try and tell me what this plant was. Little story for you, a little anecdote. Here's me getting fucked in Bioshock, because it had already gone left and I was entirely surrounded by losing blocks. BS, he said. I wish there were dates on these so I could see when I... view details. 15th of October 2013, there you go. When did I post this? Let's have a little look here. 3rd of November 2013. When was this hilarious TF2 joke? Just in case anyone was wondering how long I've been this funny. Yeah, view page. 2013, so these are all 2013 bangers. And then here's a Big Daddy charging at me. That's wild. So this would be my first ever Bioshock playthrough. Still one of my favourite games of all time to this day. And I imagine, now that I'm thinking about it, it will be in the top 10. Sander Cohen's masterpiece. If you haven't played Bioshock, speaking of masterpieces, the whole game is a masterpiece. I can't help but feel as though the charred bin stands out a bit amongst the frozen corridor. Hee hee. Good joke, Reese. Good joke, Reese. And then here's a Alpha? A Rosie? A Rosie? Is that a Rosie? I can't tell. The colours are this dark. It might be an Alpha. No, that's a Rosie, I think. Yeah. This is a Big Daddy. Whatever. You get it. So yeah, this is the official Yeti Hype group. If you want to join, we have 1 member. I'm not going to lie, I only made this group so I could get in on some of that curatorshipness. So don't expect sparkles. There's a link to my live stream. There's a link to video. Nope, don't need to look at that. Actually, yeah, we can look at it. I like to show it off as much as possible because I made sweet graphics for it that are useless because I can't stream anymore. Yep, here I am, Yeti Hype. Follow for chess streams. I did one 2 months ago and it was an hour long. So check out twitch.tv/YetiHype for chess streams. Yeah, look at this sick fucking... Look how dope this looks, man. This took me like 2 hours. It looks awesome. My offline screen, that is so fucking cool, man. And then it's just like, I mean, technically this is in use because you just need to go on my page. Oh my god, this is sick, dude. Little DM popping up once again from Spink that I'll try and cover up this time because I accidentally didn't cover one up yesterday. I'm so with it. My brain's so switched on. Yeah, but don't worry, it's gone now. I got that one. I got that one cleared very quick. But that was a DM, so it kind of just had a full name on screen. So I definitely need to remember. I'm just saying all this out loud so that future Reese remembers to cut this out. Look at how sick this. Look at how cool this freaking. It looks so good, and I made so many good. Okay. What else have we got links to? Vidya Games? Again, very 2013 energy. Oh, this is a link to my YouTube channel. you may be familiar, and weekly show, which, if I am recalling correctly, yeah, this is the official Yeti cast, which no longer exists. And maybe I'll talk about that another day. Probably not. Here's my playlist: great games for speedrunning. Dishonored. This quickly turned from my top 10 Steam games of all time to just looking at my Steam profile, but I actually don't mind it. So here are my reviews. I did some reviews apparently, I forgot. In 2016 I reviewed Dishonored, 1,086 hours on record, 858 hours at the time, and I said not bad so far. Hee hee funny. 3 people found that haha funny, so that's cool. Trials Evolution, I was pissed because I was really excited to play this, and then I can't remember what was wrong with it, but it didn't work. 5.6 hours, 1 at a time. This is a great game, but not on PC. I remember pulling an all-nighter. Wild. Wow, how times have changed. Remember when I used to pull all-nighters? As like a 14-year-old, and I watched like 4 hours straight of Northern Lions Trials Evolution Let's Play in like 2014. Those were good times. And that was back when it was still a semi-big deal for me to pull an all-nighter. That was like the early days. That was when it started. That was when it started to go wrong. That was the first little domino of my sleep schedule just going to complete shit. Was as a 14-year-old staying up to watch YouTube videos, and then the rest was history. But that was one of my I have early memories of being a PC game. I guess they weren't that early. But it was 2014, but I was like 14, 15 years old. But I remember doing that, and I already had done a few all-nighters before then, I guess, in my life. I feel like your first all-nighter you do quite young, and it's like a crazy thing. Whereas I wasn't quite a seasoned all-nighter veteran at that point, but it was early enough that I remember it. I have the memory of it. This is a great game, but not on PC. The port is one of the worst ports I've ever played. Owned about 10 games at this point. This game is laggy on a good PC, and it takes just based on nothing because I wasn't on a particularly good PC, and it takes ages to load, and sometimes it doesn't even open. That's true, sometimes it literally just wouldn't open. I managed to play about 1 hour, and now it just refuses to open at all. I had got 4 more hours out of it somewhere, so I guess at some point it fixed. This seems to be a common unfixable problem. If you really the game, buy it on Xbox Marketplace, at least that version works. It was very broken back in the day, admittedly. And I wasn't the only person that had this issue, and it put me off Trials, which is a shame because it had really cool custom levels, which is what NL's series was. Bioshock, 12.9 hours at review time, so I reckon that was probably after I finished my first playthrough, and then 157 total, semi-spoilers. This is such a good game. It's a first-person shooter that actually has a story, and it's a good story. A very good story. 2013. Gameday Tycoon, played this on the main channel once, my 50 subscriber special. I played this for half an hour back in 2013. A fantastic game to just sit down and play. For the first time in a while, I actually found myself losing track of time. For the first time in a while, ever the curmudgeon, ever the cynic was 14-year-old Reese. 2nd of October, 20, pretty close to Maria's birthday. And here we go, The Binding of Isaac, 132 hours at a time, 213 total. This game is fantastic for just sitting down and playing. I used that line. Apparently I thought that line was so great that I used it twice. Pretty close together as well. I'm 134 hours in, and I'm still not even close to getting bored or finished. So those are my reviews, and those are why we won't be leaving any more reviews. Anything else we can look at before we go into here? What's the video? Oh, it's just a link to an old YouTube video. The Binding of Isaac challenge runs. 1, look at the die. I have to know. I have to know. Is this video still public? No! I don't think it's still public. RIP. It might. Why would I have privatized? That doesn't seem like one I would have got rid of. I wonder if it's unlisted. Twitter, @StartledPooga. Steam, @StartledPooga. Likes hugely appreciated for. My Steam group, ML Gamers, aka Moonlight. The only other thing I wanted to show, former names, saving the best to last. I thought this was quite interesting to look at. These aren't all of them, because I'm sure my original Steam name was I Am Text, because that was a YouTube name before the current channel, back in like 2012, 11, and then originally back in 2010 I was Ace Master 885, of which I still have the website for that. which I'll maybe show one day. Rezel Noise, of course. X Noise HD, and then Loom Noise. I went from the Rezel clan, which was a clan that I made, to being clanless, to then the Loom clan, which is another clan that I made also. Hashtag Rain Luck, Phase Rain. Then I was Startled Puga, which you may remember if you've played Minecraft with me, you'll know that the name still lives on today because my Minecraft is tied to my really old Microsoft account. So if you're on the server, you've been playing Minecraft with me recently, you'll know that name. Also, if you go to youtube.com/startledpuga, it redirects to Yeti Hype, even though I also have youtube.com/Yeti Hype as well. They both work. Noise Gaming, yeah, look, I was Noise for a little while because I am loud, because I talk a lot, I make a lot of noise. That was literally the only reason. Then I was Blame the Lag HD for a little bit, and then I was Yeti Hype, and then Yeti Hype is what ended up sticking around late 2013, early 2014, and then it just kind of stuck, and then Sasquatch Excitement, and now Snow Come. That said, we're like 25 minutes into the video. This turned into a raiding my Steam profile video, which is fine. I'm going to just call this video that instead. And I think that this has also been fun for me. But here we are. And then this is the problem with this. It's kind of underwhelming that you just kind of see them. You can't really reveal them one by one. But Snow-O-Kun, these are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, top 10 games of all time. And we'll talk through them a little bit as I go through. I'm not going to leave reviews because we'll be here forever. My number 1 most played of all time, absolutely zero surprise on that at all. It was always going to be Dishonored. 1,087 hours. This is tiny, so I don't know how well you can see. Oh god, I'm moving shit. I don't know how well you can see the time there. Maybe I can zoom in post if I have to. Followed by Rebirth, which again makes sense, 542 hours, especially with the renaissance we had with the series, and then eventually Binding of Mandem. I easily, when I started the series up like late on last year, I was at like 450, so that brought it up a lot. Siege, I loved Siege for years. I had like a big phase with it, and then I stepped away from it for a little bit, and then had like a second big phase with it. So I was super into Siege. I still like Siege, actually. I had to uninstall it just because I was so low on space and it was quite big. So I don't think I currently have it installed, but I love Siege. It's probably one of my favourite online like shooters, I guess. The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, 243 hours again. I played so much of this on the Xbox back in the day, a little bit on the Switch. And then a little bit on the Switch, like 10 to 15 hours on the Switch. I don't have access to that copy anymore. But originally I had this on the Xbox, and my first ever like super addiction to Skyrim was on the Xbox. I had it on the Xbox for like since release up until getting a PC, and absolutely destroyed that shit on console for like 2 or 3 years before I even moved on to PC. So again, there'll be some of these numbers, and you know, there's obviously some stuff you're not seeing. Obviously, you're not seeing Switch games. I have 700 hours on Animal Crossing, which is actually now, I hadn't even considered how insane that is when I think about the fact that would, if I put all of my games into one library, Animal Crossing would be my second most played game of all time. That's fucking insane. It hasn't even been out for a year. And we haven't even played it for a couple months. I know we've sort of been easing back, semi-playing it. Mostly Spink's been playing it recently, but I kind of have thought about it, which is actually kind of insane. But obviously, you know, there's Switch games, and there's games I played on, you know, PS2 back in the day, and there's games on, like, Origin, and etc, etc. Diablo 2 I played a fuck ton of. This is just my Steam games. But yeah, 243 hours. And then Original Isaac has 214. Spelunky sitting at 181. Portal is interesting to me at 166. And then Bioshock, 157. Team Fortress 2, just over 100 at 101. And then in 10th, we have the Black Ops 2 multiplayer at 97. Again, so much of that I played on the Xbox. That was just PC. And then some close ones. Among Us, which I imagine will break into the top 10. Especially when the new map comes out. I have no doubt that at some point we'll go over 100 hours. Because we play for like... It really depends. Nowadays, we kind of slide it in the middle of sessions. For a little bit here or there, if we feel like it. But like... when we were super into it, we'd play for like 4 or 5 hours at a time. So if the new map gets us into it, even if only for a couple of weeks or so, that'll easily smash through the 100-hour mark for sure. So I imagine Among Us will break into the top 10. New Vegas I could see breaking into the top 10 at some point, just because I plan on replaying it soon. Infinite, I still am currently working on 100% in that game, so that'll come up quite a bit. Enter the Gungeon at 86 hours. 66 hours even. Borderlands 2 at 65 hours. The Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. I prefer Modern Warfare 3 to Black Ops 2. It surprises me that I've played a considerable amount less than Black Ops 2. That surprises me because I much prefer Modern Warfare 3. It was my favourite COD multiplayer. The Culling 54 hours, which is hilarious. Loved that back in the day. Played so much of that with Will and Josh. Both together and individually. I had a whole series with Will. Mirror's Edge 53, Killing Floor is up there. Black Ops 2 Zombies again. I'm surprised that's not higher. So much zombies on console back in the day. Salt and Sanctuary, I just love that game. That is purely just from playing it like 3 times, or maybe only 2 times. Paladins, liked a bit of Paladins. Again, played a lot of that with Will and Josh. Jazzpunk, 42 hours of Fall Guys. Monaco in Momentum. Archblade is hilarious to me because I've seen this on here. It has 36 hours. To this day, I have no clue whatsoever what this game even is. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I could click on the store and find out. I don't know if it's like an RPG or like an MMORPG or like a PvP like multiplayer. I have those are my guesses based on looking at it. I'm sure I've checked in the past. This has been on here for years, and I don't have a clue what it is. I don't know how it came to be on my profile. I don't know. Maybe someone hacked me and just played 36 hours of Archblade. I don't know. Fallout 4, 36. I'm surprised that's more than Far Cry 3, because I played multiple playthroughs of Far Cry 3 and actually liked the game. Fallout 3, 33 again, console, The New Order, Apex Legends. Saints Row the Third was a good one. Shadow of Mordor was a good one. And then Dishonored 2, way down there. I'll play it one day. Homefront. There's some interesting stuff here. Dota 2 has 13.4 hours, just because I left it on overnight on my laptop by accident one time, and then woke up in the morning and it had bumped up by like 8 hours. That's pretty funny. Morrowind I streamed back in the day, 12 hours, that was all streamed. Absolution was a Let's Play. 8-Bit Hordes was a Let's Play on this channel, actually. Windscape's dope, underrated, little indie gem in my opinion. If you like Wind Waker, you might like Windscape. Fallout 3 again. Arkham Asylum, loved that on Xbox back in the day. Okay, we could scroll for hours here, so let's hit the top 10. So yeah, it's no surprise, and I imagine if you know me at all, because I don't see why anyone random would be watching this video, or why anyone would care. Although if you are watching this video and you don't know who I am, that's sick. Unlikely. But that's really cool. Hi, how you doing? Tell me what your games are. I'd love to chat about it. Yeah, Dishonored, far and away my most played game. It's also my favourite game of all time. I absolutely adore every inch of this game. It's in my opinion perfect. I just love it so much. I don't talk about it so much anymore, just because it's, you know, I've played 1,000 hours of it, and it's like a single player, semi-linear, semi-open world. There isn't. I've played probably around 1,200 total if you include the fact that I had already played through it casually 3 times on the Xbox, because you can play through it multiple different ways. There's different play styles and approaches, and there's different ways you can complete each mission and stuff. So I played through it, I think 3 times in full, casually, before I even got it on PC. So I reckon this is probably around the 1,200 hour mark. There's probably not 1,200 hours of content in the game. The reason why it's so high is because I speedran it for so long, like for over the years. Essentially my entire Twitch channel, if you saw when I opened earlier, I have like 350 followers. Like 300 of those came from when I was speedrunning. Actually, no, that's probably not true. There was like 2 years where I streamed New Vegas and Skyrim every week. Or at least a year. That was like my thing that I did. Every Saturday and every Sunday I streamed. Yeah, I used to stream every week. Oh man, I miss those times, man. I used to stream New Vegas every week, and people loved that. Gained a bunch of YouTube. I streamed it on YouTube and Twitch, and got a load of YouTube subs off it. Because it was back when YouTube first started to push YouTube gaming as a thing, so it was free subs. But yeah, I used to stream Dishonored speedruns like 3 times a week for years, like 2013, probably more so 14, I'd say it mostly started, but like 2014, 15, 16 was, this was all I did was speedrun Dishonored. My hobby wasn't gaming, my hobby wasn't speedrunning, my hobby specifically was speedrunning Dishonored. And when I wasn't in its prime, when I wasn't speedrunning it myself, I was watching other runners like Walrus and Ferret and Sloth back in the day when he was still around. Yeah, adore it. I absolutely love I love this game. This game is my passion. And again, Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Again, it's one of those kind of just makes sense. I love Isaac, as you can see the original's in here as well, and I've been playing original Isaac since like 2013 or something. So then when Rebirth came out in 2014, I picked it up on release and still play it to this day. It's Isaac. You don't need me to say much about it. Even as a game, you don't need me to say much about it, but also given the context of this video on this channel where I have 60 episodes of me playing it. The most recent, it's not necessarily an ongoing series anymore, but the most recent episode was like 3 days ago. So I'm still playing it to this day. It's brilliant. It's a fantastic game. You probably don't need to say much, especially knowing like my friends and stuff all play it as well. So it's like, what do I say about Isaac? The replayability, 542 hours, and this shit I haven't seen. It's fun. It's still fun. And again, this isn't 542 hours evenly spread out. I've had phases on and off with it for sure. But it's a great game. And I never even got into the modding. I did a little series when modding first was like released, and they first released like the easy access Lua shit, or however that worked. I had a little mod showcase series that was one of the many things I look back on and wish I kept going, because I did like 3 episodes and they have like a couple thousand views each. Did really well, and then I just didn't keep going with them. Yeah, it's Rebirth. What do you want me to say? Siege, again, I talked about Siege already, to be honest. I mentioned Siege earlier and basically said everything I had to say about Siege. Love Siege. The funny thing is, I played Siege for like a couple of years, was super into it for a couple of years, and then as I stopped playing, my little brother started playing, and he's super into it now. I don't know if he's still playing it right now. I think he is, actually. I think he's still playing it. I'm sure when I was last over, he had it open on his PC. Or his Xbox, maybe? I don't remember. Probably his Xbox, I'd imagine. He's still playing it, because that's what his rank would have been on his stuff, because that's what he played it on. He only just got his PC recently. Yeah, my brother my brother's playing it now and is like really good at it as well. So, interesting. I just thought that was an interesting little thing, how I kind of stopped playing it, and then he started playing it and then got into it, and it was like, it's funny how that kind of accidentally ended up happening. Because he'll do a lot of stuff. Check out a lot of stuff that I'm into. He got into football because I was into football and stuff like that. But Siege was one of those that he just kind of happened to start playing it, like as I happened to stop, which I just thought was kind of interesting the way that turned out. Skyrim, top 5 games of all time for me. Absolutely, I love this game. Oblivion was up there, top 5 for me for years, and then Skyrim just overtook it. And I know a lot of people, I know Skyrim has been hit and miss for some people. I know there are people out there who don't like die-hard Elder Scrolls fans that were never really taken by Skyrim in the same way that Oblivion or Morrowind or even Daggerfall or Arena took them. I know the people who like super love Morrowind. A lot of people aren't really into Skyrim. I love it. I absolutely love it, and the fact that I still come back to it like once a year. This got me when lockdown first started. This was all I was doing basically. When it was very first lockdown, so kind of no one knew what they were doing and everyone had loads of time. Assignments were put on hold temporarily, and it was just like, hey, you've got time, fill it. I was playing Skyrim. I was trying to do a 100% playthrough, and I still would like to go back to it at some point. I promise. I know Maria mentions every now and then I need to go back to it, and Maria's been playing Skyrim recently, actually. And I can't wait for her to do her Skyrim harp cover. That's definitely going to happen. Definitely next. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get them next time. Probably not. But if I actually remember to vote this time, maybe. I love Skyrim. I love Skyrim so much. I've done the tier list recently. I did the waifus and the husbando ones. It's just like, again, yeah, like I said, the fact that I can still go to it like once a year and still love it and still have such a great time. I love the world, I love the characters, oh, we didn't have enough voice actors, oh, blah, blah, blah. Look, I don't care about the people's complaints, I don't care about the bugs that they never fixed. I just love the game, the music, the environments, the weapons, the characters, the quests. I love it, man. It's just, yeah, I love it. I played it so much, and it's just got so fond in my heart that this is probably, definitely top 5. I would potentially say that Skyrim is top 3 for me. Potentially. The longer I look at this word, this isn't a real word anymore. I mean, it literally isn't a real word, but it's not a real word anymore. And then Binding of Isaac Vanilla, don't really have much to add beyond what I already said for Rebirth. I had this, and I loved it, and then Rebirth came out, and I switched to Rebirth, and then kind of because of the upgrades and the improvements that Rebirth made on the original, you never really felt the need to return to the original. Well, it could be interesting to do that, maybe. You know, actually, fuck it, dude. That could be a good video. I'm trying to come up with new content ideas. Maybe that could be a fun one-off video, since we play so much Rebirth on the channel, to revisit the original and see how it feels to play. Probably really slow, because it was 30 FPS on Flash. Spelunky, love this shit, man. Again, I had phases of it, super into it for a while, then dipped out of it for a couple of years, then got re into it for a little while, then dipped out for a couple more years, and then Josh picked it up and started playing it, which reignited me playing it for a little bit. And then my controller broke, so I couldn't play it. And then now I have a new controller because the lovely NSL, Not So Livid, who I mentioned in the last video and said I was going to link his channel and I forgot to. RIP. I will go back and do that. Bought me a new controller as a Christmas gift, which was just absolutely massively appreciated and a really sweet thing to do. So at some point, I have no doubt I will probably go back and play more Spelunky, and I still need to play Spelunky 2 at some point. Love this game. I love the design. I love the art style. It's so pretty. The music is incredible. The replay value. I just have so many like good memories with this game, nostalgic memories, both in terms of playing it and also watching it. You know, Bear Taffy and Biznap and obviously NL as well and Malf and stuff. Yeah, love this game, man. Love it so much. It's such a great, and it holds up. It's still a fun game. Like I said, Josh played it last year. Toward the end of last year, the tail end of last year, in the build up to Spelunky 2 coming out, he was like learning Spelunky. He picked it up like a month or so, I think, before Spelunky 2 came out, and then he gave himself the month to try and learn Spelunky 1, having never played it, in preparation for Spelunky 2. And I know that he had a great time with it, even playing it for the first time last year. And it's still, yeah, it's a great game. It's Spelunky HD, if you want to call it that. It was technically, because obviously there was the original Spelunky, then there was this, and there was Spelunky 2. But even if you haven't played Spelunky 2, it's happening again. The word's not real, the word's not real. I've said it too many times. I love the game. It's beautiful. It's a great game. Portal, this is also speedrunning. But this is interesting. So obviously I would have played it casually at some point. And it's a great game, and I played it casually because I played Portal 2 on the 360 back in the day. Loved the game. I love Stephen Merchant, which just made me like it even more. And I love Portal 2, and then I should replay Portal 2 at some point, actually. That's a game that I've tried to replay like twice since getting it on PC, and I never get around to finish it. I only ever get as far as like an hour or two in, and then for some reason never finish it. So maybe I should replay Portal 2 at some point. But Portal, yeah, probably played it casually at some point, and then definitely most of that would have been speedrunning. I did a little bit of Inbounds and never really was any good at it, and Glitchless was my main, and I never got particularly good at that either. I was never any good at Portal. It's one of the most like speedrun games going, just because it's a really cool and accessible speedrun, and there's so much variety, and like the skill level at the very top is so insane versus like the entry level, but it's so good as a speedrun in my opinion, because there's so much variety in the tricks and like the ladder to climb. Dishonored is my favorite game of all time, my favorite speed game of all time. For the most part, there are some advanced tricks, there are some intermediate tricks, there's some beginner stuff, and you'll pick it up as it go along. For the most part, if you learn Dishonored, you will learn the same tricks as the higher level. Again, there are advanced stuff for sure, but a lot of the tricks are the same. But the disparity and just the amount of tricks in Portal for such a short run make it such an accessible run that you really can just start at whatever level you feel comfortable at, and then just build on that and ease more tricks into it as you go along and get more comfortable into the game. I think it's a fantastic speedrun, and if people are out there looking for something to get into speedrunning, Portal's definitely one to look into. And it's short as well, and it's easy to run, and etc. etc. And again, that was one I streamed a ton of at one point. Definitely, probably around half of these hours were streamed. Bioshock. This rounds out the top 3 for me. I usually say my top 3 games I think would be Dishonored, Skyrim, and Bioshock, and it's tough because I love Bioshock Infinite, and recently in my head I'm like Bioshock / Bioshock Infinite. Bioshock Infinite it's been knocking on the door, and I like I said, I replayed it recently and have been doing a second replay trying to 100% it. I did a normal replay of it recently, and then I've been doing a 100% one after the fact. So recency bias may be applicable, just because I haven't played Bioshock 1 casually for so long, and it'd be tough to, because I've part of why, in fact the main reason why the hours are so high, because I speedrun it, and that's true for a lot of the games I've speedrun. Why their hours are so high, I speedrun both any percent for a long time, and also glitchless, and in fact actually one of my most recent speed games was Bioshock glitchless. I think I got a PB like since lockdown. I think, yeah, I want to say summer. I want to say at some point during the I had a little during the speedrunning phase of lockdown that went for a couple of months, maybe like September. I want to say around there. I was speedrunning for a little bit. I did Bioshock glitchless, and I did some Wolfenstein: The New Order glitchless. Yeah, I had like a good month of running glitchless, so I just know the game too well that I probably couldn't play it casually again. But truly, this game is a masterpiece. This game it's just a masterpiece. The concept, the atmosphere is just incredible. In this game, the story, the characters in it, like the depth of the characters, and just. It's honestly, and this whole series, and Infinite as well, I love, and the DLC and stuff. But yeah, even Bioshock just by itself, even if you don't want to go through the whole series, it's a perfect game in my opinion. It's fun to play. It came out I think in 2008, so maybe the combat might not have aged like perfectly. I've played it so much that it's combat that I'm used to and know and love for the game itself. But maybe if you play it for the first time, it might feel maybe a tiny bit dated, but not in a way that I think it ruins the experience or the game or anything. I think it's totally fine. The world is just amazing. It's beautiful. It's great to explore. It's eerie. It's creepy, and as well the book as well. I don't know. Is my webcam still going? Yeah, the book as well is also brilliant. By the way, if you obviously you'd want to. You probably wouldn't read the book if you hadn't played the game first. But yeah, if you haven't played the game and you do ever play the game and you haven't read the book is also brilliant. I fucking love this game so much. I love the whole series so much. I love the characters. I love the world. I don't know what to tell you. Without going in, I can't go into it too much because this video is already so long, and also I just have so little brain power right now. But it's such a good game, man. And it's not going to be everyone's game, so I never want to sit here and be like, you definitely should play it if you haven't played it, because it's not going to be everyone's game. Thinking of Josh, I know Josh hasn't played Bioshock. It's Under the Sea. And also it's like pseudo horror. It's not a horror game, but it's spooky and it's eerie the whole way through. And I guarantee at least one jump scare. And there aren't jump scares. It's not a jump scare game. That's not the purpose. But because of the way the game is constructed and the environment and the atmosphere, those moments will happen. You will get scared at points. It's a spooky game. So maybe it's not for everyone. That said, it's perfect. It's flawless in my opinion. Which is why I would probably consider it to be a top 3 game of all time for myself. And then Team Fortress 2, just had phases with it. When I first got into PC gaming, it was free, and it was fun, so I played quite a lot of it early on when I first moved onto my first ever little gaming laptop in 2013 or so, and then I was off it for a few years, and then I came back to it again for another phase around 2017-18. Did a bunch of TF2 videos on the main channel, like little edited videos, and honestly, some of my best content. I actually really liked the TF2 videos. Obviously, some of them especially stood out as really good. But yeah, some of the TF2 videos I did were really fun. That was a good time on the main channel around, yeah, 2017, I'd say, for the most part. 2016, actually, yeah, now I'm thinking about it. A lot of them would have been 16, 17, I reckon, when most of that was going on. But yeah, some of those videos, some of the TF2 videos were really fun. So I definitely came back to it for a bit around 2016, 17. I remember my first ever 24-hour stream. I started with an hour of TF2 and then ended with a little bit of TF2. It was only like 20 minutes at the end after Paladins. But yeah, I started and ended my first ever 24-hour stream in December 2016 with some TF2. Again, Josh was there for that. We played Paladins at the end of the stream. And Will was there, and SideQuest was there, and that was it. Those were the only people that were there. And an IRL friend played CSGO with me at the start of the stream. Yeah, TF2, it's just a fun game. Again, 101 hours is like nothing compared to what some people put into this game. Yeah, this is one of those games people fuck with this game heavy still to this day. Honestly, it's just a fun game. I never took it too seriously. I never took the meta too seriously. I was always very casual with it. And again, if you've seen any of my TF2 videos, you'll see just how casual I was with it. I exclusively played it for fun, but that's what it was. It was fun. And then Black Ops 2, I don't even really want to go into too much because, like, I played like 99% of my COD was on the console. Any COD I've played on Steam was just residual of, like, over the years getting little urges to be like, oh, I feel like playing some Black Ops 2 multiplayer. I feel like playing some Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. And then there's a little bit of Modern Warfare 2 in here, there's a little bit of Black Ops 1 in here, and a little bit of zombies. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and this is what I mean about, you know, I'd love to see my most played games of all time. If you think about Xbox, if you think about other platforms and stuff, the CODs, multiple CODs would be way, way, way up there. This one just kind of happens to be the one that got the most playtime on PC by coincidence. Although, like I said, I feel like I've played more Modern Warfare 3, because Modern Warfare 3 is my favourite COD multiplayer, which is a discussion we can have another day. And just my favourite COD altogether was Modern Warfare 3, even though Zombies, Black Ops 1 Zombies was probably what I sunk the most time into. And then Among Us, I think, is 11th. Again, Among Us I just played a lot of with my friends over the last... I wonder when we played it first. I remember, dude, I have some great memories of our first few times playing Among Us before we realised you could while we were learning the game, before we realised you could open it up and we'd do little, like, 4/5 person lobbies. I have great memory early Among Us, and then yeah, and now we have a bigger group for it now, so we don't always need to do the public lobbies anymore, which is nice. Dude, Among Us came absolutely out of nowhere, and then we were all as a group super addicted to it for like a month or two, and then it kind of faded away, and we've been doing other stuff recently. Holy shit, I have some fantastic memories. Even if it was a little flash in the pan, even if it's now reached the point, I don't know if it's reached the Fall Guys point yet, where every tweet, everyone just spams dead game, dead game, dead game. I don't know if Among Us has quite gotten to that point on Twitter yet, at least, but I know that people have started to, it's become a bit of a meme now. I know on TikTok, people take the piss out of it now. People have started to move on. I love this game, and even if it was only a little, like, couple months in time, I have some absolutely fantastic memories with some of my friends playing this. Again, yeah, I've only ever played it with the same friend group. I made some fantastic memories with those guys, with you guys, if some of you are watching this video. Again, I will always love the game for it. And as I said, the new map comes out like literally any minute. Any time now. They originally said January, and we're about to be in March, so in theory could come out at any time now. So I have no doubt that at some point when the new map comes out, and it gets a bit of a resurgence of players and stuff, I have no doubt that at some point we'll probably give the new map a go. And we also really want to try the proximity chat when that eventually comes out to the public. I know we're waiting on that. We really want to try that, so I have no doubt that this will It's the only reason why I'm talking about it so much is because I have no doubt that this will jump definitely into the top 10. I imagine, okay, maybe not 60 hours to get to 8th here, but I imagine it will usurp TF2 probably as well, because that's basically like maybe 2 sessions of if we enjoy the new map. Fantastic memories with Among Us, for sure, and it was mostly just a vessel for that, with, you know, hanging out with friends, especially, like, okay, you know, the first half of that was playing the game and being invested in the game and trying to win the game, and probably like half of that was just, you know, having, you know, banter or casual conversations with friends whilst we were playing Among Us in the background, you know. But yeah, a good game. But there you go. That was that. And I'm just gonna pivot over now to this, so we can wrap this up. Again, this went so much longer than I imagined, but they always fucking do. So once again, thank you if you watched this video. I'm so grateful that people are watching these videos, because I'm so sorry that they go for so goddamn long every time. But I appreciate it. I'm starving, so I'm gonna go make a jalfrezi. Man, June 21st. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Everyone's pogging for the pubs. Cannot wait. The Euros, going to the pub for the Euros. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. And because of COVID, they're saying they're gonna they think that the whole of the Euros is gonna be hosted in England. Beautiful. But you know what I really can't wait for? Oh, the hairdressers, man. Oh, I cannot wait for the hairdressers. I'm so excited. Thank you for watching. I appreciate everyone who watches these videos so much, because they're way too long. And thank you for sticking with me, because literally this felt like I was almost indulging myself. I watched some of yesterday's video back when I was editing through, cutting the messages out that popped up, and I was like, what was I doing? What am I doing? What was that video? I don't know what it was. But people still watch it, so thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all. I say this every time because I mean it. Hope you guys have a good Friday. And you know, if I don't speak to you I will speak to you tonight at some point over something probably. But I'll say anyway. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. Later, guys. Bonk. I'm bonking the wrong thing. Bonk.